If you were Starmer looking at these elections, what would your plan of action be? Do you think this would? Do you think this will kick him on to do something, or do you think he will hope he can outlast this radical right moment?
Well, he is trying to grow the economy, or at least he says he is, and is obviously taking action to that effect. The hedge is whether or not he can grow the economy before we get round to the next election, which obviously is a difficult thing for an infrastructure project like that to come good in the space of less than 5 years, all that house building, etc. But we will see. I think that the lesson for me that I would learn is that just because they're not in power, like directly, very clearly they're shaping the Overton window and they're shaping policy, because the CDU, who are going to go into government, have taken parts of their legislative agenda from the AfD. And it has to be said as well, by the way, the history of the CDU in Germany, they used to be a lot more right wing than they are now. They sort of used to be very traditional on the family, and they used to sort of absorb neo-Nazi movements or like sort of fledgling successor parties, and they can't now because they're so centrist, or they were anyway. But as a centrist party saying that Germany's going to withdraw from Schengen, the stuff on climate change and cutting corporation tax, and as you said, Ava, pointing Germany away from America and more in Russia's direction. Those are all very clear examples to me of how AfD is being the tail that wags the dog, and
being the tail that wags the dog.
Yeah.
Oh.
Rather than the dog wagging the tail, i.e., the leading party stipulating the direction that the country goes in. It's the well, not fringe because they're on 20%, but the party that everyone would like to be fringe, that would like to remain behind the cordon sanitaire, but they're influencing policy, and so it doesn't matter if you can beat Reform into second place if you absorb large parts of their legislative agenda. But what is the purpose of your politics?
Does it just would the AfD have done as well as this if they had an ape-table policy as well? Did it just make their policies more palatable and acceptable? If they'd maintained a firm, we're not going to kowtow to this kind of rhetoric and language and beliefs, would that it's what they say is about you want the real thing. You want if
full fat.
If you think those policies are appropriate, then go for the original. Don't go for the imitator.
Something you would like, I think. They want to bring back the Deutschmark.
Why would I like that?
I think you like silly ideas where we find people stupid.
Right.
They want to withdraw from the euro.
Well, yeah,
and bring back the Deutschmark.
I do think Germany, at the heart of the European Union, leaving Schengen and the euro, is that just the end of the European Union as a project?
I think it probably is. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
becomes the French Empire?
What are the next steps? Really, when you're actually sitting there as Starmer, what are the next steps here? Because you've got Friedrich Merz, who's now arguing that they can move away from American power and that actually he's just going to rely on England and France's nuclear capabilities, which made me laugh a lot because I'm like, have you seen Trident? It doesn't fucking work, pal.
Yeah. Also, the Americans can turn it on and off. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's their technology. They can't obviously stop the subs from launching, or they might be able to. I don't know if the top secret stuff. But like at the end of the day, it's not as if we're sort of an independent nuclear power separate from America. We pay them £100 billion for the privilege of leasing the technology from them.
And so that's why we now have to call the Atlantic like the Trump-tantic or something. And then if we don't refer to it
the
as
American
that,
Sea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's sort of like that. He was on the rounds last night shouting about how he's just going to rely on England and France, and I don't think that's not where Starmer is. Hang on a minute.
There's enough pressure on me at the moment, pal.
Because if you're going to do that, then you're going to have to dramatically increase the spend that we have, that we are, putting into nuclear. But listen. Starmer just last week was arguing about, they're all having these rows in the MOD about increasing GDP defence spend to 2.5%, right? There is no appetite for this. No one has any interest in doing this, apart from people who are, in government or a couple of civil servants. There is no one who is interested in more 11% departmental cuts in order to continue funding the war in Ukraine. And I'm sorry if that makes me, as some people who says it on Twitter, Neville Chamberlain. I fucking said it.
I think Laura said it as well, actually. I think
did.
she called you an appeaser.
She did. But it's just point in fact. You're looking at Germany right now. Not even a war could save Germany. Not like throwing a load of cash into defeating Russia would suddenly turn people away from the AfD. That's not what they're arguing for.
This is Putin's wet dream, isn't it? A fractured Europe in this way.
Of course it is.
You know, we haven't even mentioned fucking our boy Keir's got to go over and sock it to Donald Trump this week. He's got to go and tell him what's up.
Mr. President, you'll stay in NATO. Box you right in the nose.
But yeah, like Germany's like turning away from America, possibly withdrawing from the Schengen travel area.
And going back to the Deutsche.
Yeah, return to the Deutsche. Well,
Going back to the concert of Europe. It's mental.
Do you think we could get that here? Maybe I want that.
Deutschmark.
Yeah, maybe I want that here. Shall I start a campaign?
You could, well, like, to join. You don't want to join the euro. What kind of Romania is that? You don't want to join the. You're not trying to rejoin the EU.
It's like the most extreme FBPE opinion.
Just Germany. Just a good bit. We didn't mean Romania, and you know that. We meant Germany.
Putin's been waiting for Trump to win this election, and he has. And now the other part of that equation is Europe fracturing. And that also appears to be coming good.
What's the argument for leaving the euro? Is it that their exports are... Would it make exports difficult? Because if you've got someone like Greece who's not pulling their share, does that devalue the euro? Is that what the problem is?
I think they essentially underwrite all of the sort of ailing economies of Europe, don't they?
Oh, well, they can't leave then. We're going to have a bit of a problem if they leave. What are we going to lie on? The franc?
The lira.
That lot isn't out of bed until 1 p.m.
I miss the drachma.
Krona.
Yeah. Great currency. Great currency.
Maybe we can just use those Scottish £20 notes.
They're real. You can use those here. They are legal tender.
I had a woman in Waitrose like years and years ago, about 10 years ago, who like came up to me and went to use one of those notes. And it was genuinely like we weren't taking cash that morning because there was like some problem with the till. And before I could even say we're just not doing cash, she just started screaming at me, "It's real! It's legal tender!"
I know. My country and my currency are real.